Hey everybody, Glecko here, back with another video, a different type of video. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit, and honestly, I'm kind of bored, got nothing to do. I can't really go to sleep yet, because else I won't be able to get to sleep tonight and wake up for work tomorrow. But I want to ramble a little bit, and I want to talk about the different type of worlds in anime where magic means everything. Where magic is the primary focus, way of life, such yada yada yada, etc. Give me a moment, catch my breath here. Finna hear big sigh, sorry. Okay, so I've been moving around all day. Yeah, magic is basically everything. Spoiler alert, I have not seen every anime. I haven't, I don't got very much money, so, it's not like I'm a big super manga person, but, whatever. All right, honorable mentions. Solo Leveling and the Irregular at Magic High School. The magic is a big component, but it's not like the main component of these stories. There's like deeper stuff going on. Nothing that they really nothing that's like magic itself is not the big conflict or the big focus, though it is part of the world. So in both of these. So moving right along. Oh, and also I don't have any pictures for Mashley Magic and Muscles, but they're on this list too. They're not an honorable mention, but just saying. Okay, now on to the video proper. First world up is going to be the world of Black Clover. It is the first anime that I really dug into. It's the first anime that well, no, that was Fairy Tail, but it was one of the few animes that I've actually watched from beginning to end. Know all the characters, yada yada yada. So in the world of Black Clover, okay, big broad overview. It's about a boy who wants to be the Wizard King and he has no magic. Now we're talking about magic in this video, so we're not going to really mention Asta, but this boy's trying to become the Wizard King, yada yada yada. He faces a bunch of trials and tribulations, yada yada yada. We find out that in this world, all the problems have kind of been caused by a man by the name of Lucius Zagratis. He plans to use the power of devils to basically become God and turn all humans into like angel type things. Okay. In this world, magic, most people have only one attribute. That could be fire magic, earth magic, steel magic. And they have magic that is not bound by, that doesn't have to be like the traditional wizard magic. So they don't have to just stick to elementals. Like you can have clock magic, you can have time magic, spatial magic, right? There are different races in this world, elves, devils, dwarves, humans, right? One of the more there's many prominent groups: the Apostles of Sephira, the Cliff-Off Devils, the Non-Magic Knight Captains, the 8 Shining Generals, the Spirit Guardians, the Dark Triad, the Wizard King. All these people are relatively powerful. I said most people can only have one attribute in this world, but there are a few cases of wizards with 2 attributes. One notable one is Mars, he was the very first person introduced to have 2 attributes. He has Phoenix flame magic, and he has mineral magic. He has great offensive and healing capabilities and defensive capabilities. Another one is the big bad Lucius, who pretty much is gaining every single magical attribute due to his unique soul magic. He has gravity magic, time magic, elemental magic, bone magic, blood magic, body magic. And then there's but there's also who has star magic and wind magic due to having an elf soul inside of his body. Okay, so that's pretty much about Black Clover. Magic's everywhere. The weaker all the kingdoms are kind of different, but for the most part, in all but maybe the one kingdom, people with low amounts of mana and weak magic powers are looked down upon and not really respected by the rest of the society, that they're in, whether that be a peasant or commoner from the Clover Kingdom, or a commoner from the Diamond Kingdom, or someone from the Spade Kingdom. All of them use it's very hierarchical at first. But all right, that's all. That's enough about Black Clover. Let's get on to Wisteria. No, sorry, wrong one. Mashley Magic and Muscles, the anime I don't have pictures for. Mashley Magic and Muscles takes place inside the magic realm. Just like in Black Clover, magic is everywhere. People use magic for everything: communication. Like they can communicate with like sound magic and all that. You got levitation. You have different elements. You got stuff like gravity. You got stuff. Everyone has, much like in Black Clover, everyone has one attribute that they really use, but they can do other stuff with their magic, like shooting magic energy balls. Like I said, levitation, yada, yada, yada. The story in Mashy Magic and Muscle is there's this one character who, the main character, Mashley, who does not possess magic, okay? And he wants to become a divine visionary so he can live in peace with his father and not have to be hunted. In this world, people who aren't born with magic, or people who don't have magic, or people who lose their magic, they're deemed abominations, and people often try to kill them, often do kill them. So it's a very harsh world for any non-magic person to live in. They actually use wands in this one. They don't use grimoires. I forgot to mention in Black Clover they use grimoires. Grimoires are kind of they boost the mage's power, yada yada yada, store spells for you, yada yada yada. So yeah, that's pretty much that one. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. The student there attends Hogwarts. Mash. He goes to Hogwarts when he goes to the academy. So that's pretty cool. They didn't say it was Hogwarts, but let's be real. It's Hogwarts. So, yeah. All right. Now, moving right along to one of the worst worlds that there would be to live in. Mashley is the worst because if you have no powers or no magic, you get killed. Also, the big bad of Mashley Magic and Muscles wants to be able to house and hold every type of power. I'll let you do with that what you will. It should be noted that Mashley Magic and Muscles came around right around the time of Black Clover's final arc with multiple attributes and all that. So again, I'll let you do with that what you will. But on to Wisteria Wand and Sword. Now, Wisteria Wand and Sword is a bit of an interesting case. There is this character who has no magic, but he wants to become a Magiavander, one of the 5 strongest wizards in the land. He wants to do this so he can go be with a girl that he loves, she was extremely gifted in terms of magic, and she was called up to the tower very early. She actually became the youngest Magiavander in history. But Wills had to stay on the school for 6 years, scrounging for credits because he didn't have any magic. So he earned all his credit. Oh, you go to the tower by earning credits or by inventing new spells. But I believe Elfaria, she was just so naturally gifted that she just instantly went. Well, almost instantly went. Will goes to the dungeon and he hunts monsters. And he also, studies very hard, in reading, writing, and all that to get as many credits as he can. Now, in this world, it's interesting. The magic system is kind of different. You have more basic magic. Like you have the 4 main elements. You have lightning, you have light, and you have darkness. Some people can use multiple attributes, but it's extremely rare. Then there are these elves who migrated from another world, and they have the same attributes type as humans, but they can also use illusion magic. And their illusion magic is actually unique as it can give physical form to illusions they cast. So they could cast a tree that actually feels and looks and feels like a tree. It's not like hollow, like intangible or anything like that. So yeah, that's. Oh, by the way, there's this force that destroys worlds. And the 5 mages had to cast like the first 5 Magiavander or the first 5 super overpowered mages had to cast a barrier to keep the calamity away and keep it at bay. And ever since then, the people who became Magiavander maintained the barrier. The wizards here are extremely cruel and mean, and a lot of them discriminate against people with weak or to no magic. Like the dwarves there are dwarves in this world too, as well as elves. They came over from another world, but dwarves don't have magic. So they're looked down upon and they're treated awfully. Now, one thing I like about Wistoria Wand and Sword is, and they also use wands as well. One thing I like about Wistoria Wand and Sword is Will actually seems to have some type of ability other than just relying on like brute strength, though he has that, and relying on a special sword, though he has that. Will's body has the ability, it appears, to channel. I'm not a manga reader. Please don't hate me, guys. His body has the power to channel any type of magic attribute that has hit him. So if a lightning mage hit him, he can like coat himself in his sword and lightning, yada yada. So it's very interesting, and I'm ready to see more of him. He's pretty cool. Now, moving right along to our last world for now. If need be, I can make a part 2 to this. And that's going to be one of the more recent animes I've watched. I saw this a couple months ago, and I constantly go back and rewatch this because I really like this anime. It's kind of growing on me, well, certain parts of it. And that is Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World. And actually, let me get up off the couch, because I'm going to have to walk with this one, so mind the shoe noises, sorry. All right. So Our Last Crusade. So here's what's interesting about this one. This world is set in somewhat modern times, though the manga creator actually has the mages unfairly treated. Like the mages don't have as much cool tech as the humans, even though they're just as smart and should be capable of getting like special weaponry. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. So in this world, long ago, everybody was human, but there was this power that was deep in their earth called astral power. Most people can't harness it because it's just too raw, too unstable, too crazy. But there are certain people who can. They become possessed by spirits and they gain special magical abilities. When magic first appeared, the empire, it was this massive empire, it treated the people who were like witches, it persecuted them and it imprisoned them and all manner of terrible things, or so we're told. Well, there was this one witch, but a witch is actually derogatory in that word. So there's one mage, astral mage, by the name of Nebulous. Nebulous was incredibly powerful, and she destroyed part of the empire, turning it literally into a sea of flames. She was so powerful, Nebulous could battle tens of thousands of soldiers on her own. She would eventually create a new land called the Nebulous Sovereignty. And this is the home of every astral mage. This is my favorite kingdom in anime. Even though it's like Black Clover and all them, this is a kingdom comprised purely of astral mages. And the show actually is a lot of hit and miss with this concept. I want to make a video about this, but there's a lot this show could have and should have done with the astral mages. But I get it. I guess we had to focus on Iska and Alice's relationship and all that. But yeah. So this show kind of follows Black Clover, as you have people who can do different things. Like some people have like ice magic, fire magic, earth magic. But then there are people who just have like abilities that amount to basically superpowers or just parlor tricks. Like one of the royal princesses, Elatir, she can mimic any voice she heard. Heck, there are humans who can do that. So that's kind of a crappy power. And we actually see that affects her in a certain way. I'm not going to give no spoilers, but yeah. So this world is really, really cool. Just because, so there are these things called vortexes that pop up from astral energy. And the Nebulous Sovereignty and the Empire have been at war for 100 years, and that kind of leads into the original story. But just because the people who are alive now in the story of Our Last Crusade, there are people new mages can be born, obviously, but they can also be I'm not going to say created, but if a human in the Empire, sorry guys, I don't know how I'm trying to say this, but if a human in the Empire wanted to, but there are certain people in the Empire who can gain magic. As one of the side characters, Captain Mismi, she was kicked in by one of the villains, and she was kicked into an astral vortex, and she actually became bonded with the spirit. An imperial soldier who dedicated her life to taking down astral mages became an astral mage, right? There are, so, you know, humans in the current time, you know, there were the humans who became astral mages at first and then fled to, you know, form the nebulous sovereignty. But the humans who, you know, 100 years later, who are, you know, like in the modern times, these humans actually can use, some of them could potentially become mages if they found a vortex, though that's kind of difficult. The 100-Year War is being fought by nothing but bloodshed in this world. So while it's really cool, it's actually just quite sad. But anyway, it's Glecko. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's all the anime worlds where magic is essentially everything. And I say magic is everything in this world because magic is the sole reason for this war. It was the appearance of magic and mages. So, yeah. But like I said, this is Glecko. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you all next time. Hope you enjoy it.